think we're live. I think the
Okay,
Twitch
I
is
see the
live.
Twitch. Yeah,
I think YouTube is still the sending the data, but there we go. Yeah, I think the YouTube one is up as well. Cool.
take a look. Yep, I see that. Let me just
I don't
take a look at
expect
what
we have
things working.
anyone live right now, but if this does end up properly working for recording and you're watching this recording, welcome. We'll be starting actual work here soon. Puddles, if I tab out like this, it just still shows Minecraft, yeah?
Let me check the stream. Looks like it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very nice, very nice. I get a little music playing.
What'd you say? Music playing?
Yeah, I got some music playing. Little lo-fi music, non-copyrighted, of course, because can't get
Very
copyrighted.
nice.
Whoa, we've got 4 people watching on
Holy
the YouTube.
guacamole.
Oh yeah, we're kind of famous.
They're basically famous. Alright.
Once we get set up, we will discuss some of the different options that we have for where to start building the supply drops. So I'll show them all off. If people want to give their input on which one we start with, that's great. If they have any other ideas for spots to include, we can talk about that.
Alright. I got the streams all set up on my second monitor.
Sick.
Alright, what do you want to start with here?
Cool. And I can't see the chat right now, so I'll leave the chat stuff to you. If you see anything, you can let me know. But I think I will show off the different drop locations, and I'll kind of talk about where they are. I won't be able to pull up the MindZ map, but I imagine the people here are familiar with these locations, and try my best to mention them. So we have /warp drop 1. This is the one that is, let me pull up my map. There we go. So this one is, it's just west of Basel, and it's kind of like a bit southern of that new forest biome that is kind of surrounded by the ice. So this is like just short of the Cyrus entrance, and I figured this could be a good location. It's very nice and open, not too far up north, pretty middle of the map, so pretty easy to get to. And we can kind of just free flow, do whatever with this one. Then if we go to /warp supply 2, oh, drop 2. This one is just south of Shrine. So Shrine of the Dusk, the dungeon. This is a nice location because it is very, very flat, gravel PvP. We know everyone likes that. And I mean, it's also got that sort of elevation with, like, you know, if somebody falls down here, gets hit off by a Simon song, kind of fun. And this one is like very open, so we can just kind of build whatever. You know, it's not really constrained by any sort of like environmental context stuff. And then we've got slash drop 3. This one is, where is this one? Oh, yes. So this one is, if we look at the map, it is just north of Fort Erie. And it's like kind of to the east and south of Snowhelm. So this is like that sort of green area that's like kind of between the snow biome and the frozen river. And I like this just because it's not really utilized with anything. Like there's nothing going on here. And I don't know. You can just kind of do whatever here as well. All of these are very like open and can do whatever creative wise.
We have a question from someone. They say, is the supply drop meant to be a terrain/area overhaul or perhaps a building? It would help us with offering some ideas.
So I think it can go as both. It's definitely like mostly, adding some buildings, but we can do like some minor terrain changes. Like if you guys don't like the ice in this river, like we could maybe see about getting rid of some of it. It's just a little more difficult with like, if we wanted to get rid of all this ice, it's not really feasible to do just because we want the supply drop location to be more small because it just helps with the pasting of it in with the supply drop configurations and stuff. But we can do terrain changes. Like if we wanted to make like a big hole or we wanted to add like some lava or whatever, if it made sense in the area, like we could do that. Also, if anyone has issues with like my mic being too loud or Puddles is being too quiet or the music being too loud or quiet, please let me know and I can fix it. I just don't know what it's like on the receiving end. So yeah, so this one was number 3. So we have
3.
Warp 4, and this one might be more controversial of a location. We don't have to use any of these, but I figure these are just nice. And if anyone has suggestions, please let us know, and we can actually go pull those locations and potentially use those as well. But this one is right, what is this, west of Hassa? Yeah, I think it's west of Hassa, in between Hassa and Giants Camp. So this one is like as gravelly as it gets, as PvP-like as it gets. Maybe people don't like it just because it's so close to Hassa with the pot towers, but it's definitely a unique location. What are your thoughts on this, Puddles?
Definitely a unique location. I agree.
Certainly a location. And this is our last like pre-selected one that I'm about to show. / warp drop 5. This one is just south of Ravine. There's nothing going around here. There's no ice or terrain changes that are like, as far as elevation goes. However, there is, of course, ravine, and you can't see it here, but this is usually void below. So I thought that could be kind of interesting for fights because it kind of changes the dynamic of like, oh, I don't want to go towards the edge because somebody might Simoons me into the void. Which the only other place you'd really see void activity would be around floating islands. But I like this because it is not too far south, but it is like pretty accessible to like run back up if you die in the fight. So yeah, with that being said, we can kind of take a moment to like see if anyone has any other suggestions or if they have preferences, because we can just go ahead and like start building one. And then we can go from there.
It looks like same guy on YouTube saying, this is Dead Maker on YouTube. They said, for the area you were in, I would suggest a classic stone brick ruin, perhaps a church, something classic but new. Perhaps temporarily bring back Insta Health 3. That's not going to happen, but
yeah, so
they were talking about drop 4.
Drop 4. Let's go back there. Drop 4. Ah, the Hassa one. Yes.
Or maybe 3.
3. Yeah, maybe I know it's hard to keep track of which drop is which. I barely remember, But if you do remember it, just like say the location name, or you can just like describe it, and I can try and go back to that one. As far as the loot goes, the supply drop loot is the same for all supply drops. Like it is randomly selected from a pool, but that pool is the same pool used for every single supply drop. So in this stream, we're not really going to be talking so much about the loot aspect of the supply drops, more so just the creation of them. Not to say that we can't have those conversations. Like if you have a suggestion of like, I'd like to see XYZ item, feel free to mention that. But we're not going to like be adding in those items right now. Puddles, do you have a preference for which of these you would like to start with? And then we can hear what other people say. But
I definitely like this one here. Drop 3 or drop 1, I believe. I think either would be nice. They're pretty similar.
I agree. These ones look the most interesting with the terrain.
Yeah.
Which one had the ice river? I think that was
the one we were just at, or
yeah, 3 has the ice river. This one, I'd almost say we maybe leave for later and we do the other one, just because supply drop 1 just it'll be less like, I guess, controversial if we choose this one because there's no ice. And I know how PvPers hate their ice. I mean, yeah, there's some ice around the area, but like for running up, it's always going to be there. Nothing we can do about that.
Yeah. I think if we do it like a little more to the center area, where there's like this dip right here, it'll be a little farther away from the mountain, so there shouldn't be too much complaining about. Well, people, of course, will go up to the mountain and grapple up, but
sure,
it'll be a little further away.
Okay. We can talk some ideas about what we want to build here, because you know the easy answer is like, let's just do some towers or some castle stuff, and we could totally do that. I just don't know if there's anything else we could do that might be a little more creative. Could do like some sort of big natural structure, like I think a big tree is maybe a little too weird for this location. Maybe like a big rock, or
yeah, we could do some rock formations.
Of course,
maybe like some rocks stacked on top of each other with like some sort of natural staircase going up on the sides. Then some other rocks around. Maybe they have a chest on them.
Yeah, we could do that. Kind of like these little ones, but like I guess more large, like the mossy kind of look.
Yeah, something like that. We have a comment. You could perhaps add some cracked terrain around the build. Cracks that are 5 to 9 blocks lower than the main terrain. I was kind of thinking about that earlier. Maybe some like
kind of like in the canyon,
ditches or...
right?
Yeah.
Like we're talking like around Ilum, there's like those sort of like little ravines, and they can be a little annoying. But like I do think that could be interesting to add those in for PvP. We could totally do that actually. The only issue, and I guess it's not really an issue, is be like if a player falls in there, they log out, and then they like rejoin the server on the next server, they would just be in the ground. But that's like an issue with every supply drop, and not much we can do about it. So I'm all for that idea.
They can always ask for admin help for that.
Yeah, we can help teleport them out. Okay. I guess we can get started. So let's do like maybe some towers, some rocks, and those like trenches. Let's maybe mark out like where we want everything to be. So like maybe red wool will be for like the trenches.
Sure. Let's get some
then I'll do like some blue wool for like rocks, and actually green makes more sense.
I think in the center here, like the center of this this big I don't know, this pit, I guess. I think this would be a good spot for that, like rock tower kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
And then around we could do some trenches and that sort
Ooh,
of thing around.
what if we did like from, oh man, what is it called? Like Rapunzel's kind of tower, where it's like it's on a rock and it's like very like skinny and kind of tall. Like something like that, maybe.
Run that by me again.
Sorry. Okay, like have you ever seen like Tangled, like the movie Tangled, with like Rapunzel
I
and
suppose.
okay, it's like basically the idea is like it's a really skinny tower and we have it be on like some sort of rock formation, and maybe we have like some vines so people can either like go up the stairs to get up there, or they can like climb the vines or grapple or whatever.
Okay.
Could do
I
that.
got a couple comments.
Yeah.
Hey, could we get a drop at Cozy Cottage?
Ooh.
And then one that says yes, Rapunzel Tower.
Rapunzel Tower. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I like this idea with the Rapunzel Tower. We could have like some trenches around it as well, perhaps, and the rocks, the mossy rocks. Cozy Cottage. Let's not do that. I value your suggestion. However, there's a couple issues with Cozy Cottage. Actually, wait. Maybe I'm thinking of Tiny Cot. Wait, which one is the one that's like in the water? Let me look.
In the water.
Oh, no. Cozy Cottage is the one that I'm thinking of. Okay. Yeah, no. Cozy Cottage is really, really, really far up north and east. Or that's west. Northwest. It's also surrounded by water. And if there's one thing you got to know about PvP and MineZ, it is that PvPers hate water. So, we're not gonna. I don't think we should do that. But if you have any other ideas for locations that you think would be a little more viable for some PvP, I'd be all ears for that. Here, so let's do like, we'll have like a rock formation here, and just big old rock.
Of course, larger than.
Yeah, this is just like a little scale, a little scale figure. And then on top of this sort of big mossy rock, we would have like a tower, and this tower would like kind of go up in the sky. Not too crazy tall, because I don't know. Maybe we do make it kind of tall. And it just kind of goes up, and we like throw some vines on the side, and people can like climb up at them. I know this looks horrible. This is not what it's going to look like, I promise.
It's beautiful.
And then we just have like some trenches that are like maybe here and like this, like kind of surrounding it.
Sure.
And then we could just have like a couple more rocks like
around.
yeah, just like over here and over here maybe.
I think we should try to, like, if you fly up, you see this like kind of shark tooth shape that the grass is making. I think we just keep it confined to this little area here. I think that'd be good size.
Wait, like oh, I see. Yes. This like outline of, okay, yeah, we can do that. And just to preface for our viewers, I am not a builder. I can build, not very well. So that's why we have our guest Puddles here, because Puddles is a builder and he loves building and is good at it. So I'll be doing my best. If it looks like it's bad when I make it, it's because it is bad and I am bad. But I'm trying my best to do this. And I have made some supply drops in the past that haven't been so bad. So I just figured I would give that little disclaimer. What do you want to start with, Puddles? You want to start with just putting the rock formations around? Or digging out the trenches?
I think just getting a general idea of what we're going to do first is going to be good. Let me just get a brush here.
It's been ages since I've done some building. It's for the boulder one. It's like, is it just /boulder, or is it what do you have to do for that?
Yeah, if you want to do
no, it's like slash
brush boulder. Then there's a number of different things you can do with that.
Do we want to start with diamond blocks and then we'll make them not diamond later?
We can try that.
Okay. What do you recommend the radius? Like it's like a range from like 5 to 7 or something? Or what is like the randomization?
It's kind of something you have to play around with to get a kind of boulder that you want. No, like this is one that here, let me.
Oh, what is the syntax? Is it like you put the diamond thing first and then the radius, or radius first and then diamond?
Diamond thing? Oh, you put so it goes block first.
Yeah. Okay.
And then if you actually just do // brush boulder, it'll show you like all the different things you can do with it.
Oh yeah. There we go. Okay. Goodbye, mock-up.
We have some. Voya says floating islands drop.
See, that would actually be really funny. I don't think people are gonna love that idea, but like low key, that I'd be kind of tempted to try it. Like, it'd be pretty funny. I imagine it'd be funny like the first time that drop appears, and then every other time people would just like roll their eyes. Or like maybe we bring back naked PvP. People just go up with no gear. That'd be pretty hype. We've got like this sort of little bit of an elongated shape. We could do that. Not make it too crazy tall.
You're gonna start marking out where some of these like trenches will be.
Okay, and feel free to like destroy or do whatever changes to whatever I'm doing here. I barely know what I'm doing here. And if anyone has any concerns about this being too tall, I feel like we could either make it shorter or we can add pistons, but I figure most people bring grapples anyways, so.
Beautiful.
Just get rid of this. Huh. There's you know what we could do? We could rob some assets that I had made in the past. It was for a rebuild that I'm not going to mention the name of, but I know you know what I'm talking about once I describe it a little bit. But it was the towers that like I had done for a build, and then we were like, oh, maybe it would go with this other update, and then we didn't. And I think I had Finn who helped me work on it a little bit. Does this ring any bells? Without saying the name.
Not really.
Okay. Forget it. We'll just make a tower. We'll just make one. It's fresh.
Wait, maybe it does ring a bell. Hmm.
It was like there were three.
Hmm. Never mind. It already.
Or wait,
that
no. It was one with like a couple smaller ones. That's what it was.
Hmm.
And like I had like made some of the terrain changes as well, and then I just like kind of abandoned it because it wasn't really up to quality, and it didn't make much sense.
Huh. Interesting.
Whatever, forget it, forget it.
Let's see. We got someone saying waiting for the Axis Mundi drop. Then
Oh,
someone said depending on what you end up building, just about everything will end up impacting player movement all the way down to the lines of sight. So in regards to PvP, it's always hit or miss.
wait, line of sight.
I guess so.
I guess I'd ask that
Well, I guess
person
if
maybe
you're
clarify a little bit of what they're saying because I'm not sure I understand it fully.
maybe if they're talking about like using bows on someone.
Oh, yeah, we could keep that in mind with like making
I
sure
think
that.
that should be the idea around like the boulders around.
Oh, like
Like you can
I
kind
see,
of
like
hide behind them.
blocking eye of sight. Yes, yes. Yeah, because then you can like kind of hide behind here, and then if like somebody's in the tower up there, then you can kind of like avoid seeing like the eye of Sauron from catching you.
Exactly.
Dude, that would actually be a hype drop if we made like just the eye of Sauron, which I it like kind of already exists in MineZ. Isn't that basically what the what is that tower called? Mantle. It's like sort of. No, yeah, it's Mantle.
Uh,
That's basically the eye of.
Perhaps.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna make this a little bigger because your boulder over there makes like puts this one to shame.
Yeah. What are you using, man?
Dude, I typed some stuff in and it's working. Okay,
You could
maybe
do like
I'll. Oh, and we could have like a little bit of like a winding staircase leading up like around the boulder, and then once you're in the tower, you could either like piston up through the middle of the tower, and there's like a staircase that also circles around it,
mm-hmm.
kind of like what is it? Noxmore. The Noxmore tower has that like piston at like in the little tower inside the building.
Yeah, that could be cool.
Okay, then we need this to be a little bit bigger.
Yeah, get rid of some of these red blocks.
I just know that like if Ender was watching this, he'd be like rolling, just seeing how awful my building skills are.
I'm pretty much just watching you. It's pretty fun.
No. You're making me embarrassed now. I'm like, I also like just taking my time with stuff. I'm not like super fast at building, but okay, I'm gonna just start like planning out sort of the tower, and then you can feel free to make some changes over here. Ooh, oh, that's cool. Yeah,
Oh man.
I'm gonna try and pull up the chats on my end. See. Puddles, does the YouTube one have a chat?
Yes.
Okay, I guess I just can't see it on mobile.
And if you're looking at the Twitch one, you can see the chat there too. From
Okay, I'm gonna pull them up on here. Hopefully there's no audio overlap because there might be. Sorry, 1 second, everyone. I can see the chat now. Okay, so we have buys for a drop. Once again, issues just water. I guess if you had it like in Bysford, maybe just because it is sort of isolated. You know, it's got like the walls around it, so hopefully people would not just like run away. But if you just have large bodies of water surrounding, then the issue is what do you call it? Then the issue is just straight up like people would just flee as soon as they get down to like low health or they're drained. But that's honestly like maybe that's okay to have a couple of supply drop locations like that, because I know that there's the one over by McHarlington, and that one does have water and people do like it. Maybe also because it's not just like a big ocean. But one moment. Okay. Tower time. I'll be honest. Normally, when I build, I usually I'm not gonna use emeralds. It's gonna throw me off. I'm just gonna use actual like proper wood and stuff.
Seems good to me. And how tall should this tower be, you think?
Like maybe up to where I am, like fairly tall, but not like crazy. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that'd be cool.
Or we just go big, go home, make it really tall, but might look a little out of place and look more like a actual location rather than just like a supply drop.
I think that'd be fine.
Honestly, I almost feel like supply drop locations should just be in the world and then they like spawn their loot if they're chosen. I feel like that would honestly make sense, but I guess the issue with that is if you have like new players and they're like wandering around, they're like, why does this location have 0 loot? You know, like outside of the supply drop time, then maybe that would be a little non-intuitive.
Here, I'll get started on this tower. And
Who's this? Maybe a secret cave under the tower that is accessed through the classic waterfall. That's a cool idea to have like a waterfall as part of one of the drops. We could do that for the other supply drop location that's like also kind of in the green, but or we could have it like, because that one has like that frozen river. We could have like, instead of the waterfall being like water, we could just have it be more like, you know, frozen like ice, or parts of it are flowing and parts of it are ice. Oh, is this the tower that you're doing right now?
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna get started with it up here.
Okay. Oh yeah, this is a great size. Let me make this rock bigger. we need a larger one.
A little bit smaller, actually, maybe like 8. Probably something like this for the.
Yeah.
I think that'd be good.
And it could be more like unorthodox in shape if you wanted to do whatever. Like it could be like an oval for all I care. Circle is easier for symmetry though.
So this is gonna be like the like if we're talking about like a Rapunzel style tower, how it kind of it gets a lot bigger at the top, you know. Like
Deadmaker says, depending on the tower radius, 2 to 3 times its height. Looks better perspective wise. Yeah, I know what they're talking about. Yeah, like if we don't want to be like too chubby. I think this radius gives us enough room to work with as far as like incorporating staircasing and also having like the piston area. Actually, we could do like a 3x3 of pistons in the middle, so it's like very obvious. Like, yeah, you can piston up. Oh, or we could have it be where it's like you've got like a piston here. Maybe there's like a piston in this corner and then another one like over here, and so you're kind of like jumping between them if you want to get up faster. It's like, let me like piston up to here, then piston from this one to like over here. You know what I mean?
So this is, from what I'm getting from you, this is how big you want the
base,
the actual base of the tower to be.
Yeah.
And like this is going to be this big going up.
Unless you think it's too big. I mean, could shrink it a couple blocks if you want, but I'm pretty happy
My
with this
idea
size.
was this was going to be like the top of the tower, and then it was going to like go down like that a few blocks, and then maybe like this would be the
I see.
even smaller than that, but that kind of thing.
Yeah, we could do that.
But it could just be a little bigger too up here, and this could just be the size of the base. We could do like
either of these ideas are great. I do
like
want
that.
us for the design for the top to have it more like an open tower where it's like it still has a roof on it, but it looks kind of like Breath of the Wild kind of tower, like where it's open so people can have like a King of the Hill sort of fighting with knockback and stuff up top.
Okay, so like without walls, you mean?
Yeah. Like there can be walls, like let's say like maybe this corner and like the 4 corners, right? But then it's like those walls are holding up the roof. I don't know if this vision is making sense.
You could add ladders or find parkour to the outside, leading to the highest point with another chest. I suppose. I don't know. This seems a little large for
too big for supply drop. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Although I will push back and say there are larger supply drop locations out there, but for a structure and a supply drop, I see where you're coming from for sure.
That's what I mean. Just
Yeah.
for the structure, maybe like something like this.
Mm-hmm.
So like the top of the tower, like the actual.
Yeah. Plenty of like standing room up here.
Yeah.
Although I will say, people won't be able to grapple up to the very top if it's like kind of like a rim to it. But we can incorporate windows or like openings like down here on the ledge so people can like still grapple up and then like walk up from like the halfway point or just like the upper point.
Yeah, and there could be like other parkour things around and pistons going up.
Yeah, we could have like some floating parkour if it made sense with how the build looks. Sure.
I'll start getting to work on this then.
Sick. Okay, maybe a little bit larger. How's your weekend been going?
Mine has been going pretty well, pretty good.
That's good.
Not a lot going on, but I just went and saw The Accountant 2 yesterday with my brother.
I didn't know that there was an Accountant 1. Was it good?
Yeah, it was really good. It has Ben Affleck in it, and I think his name's John Bernthal. Pretty good.
Cool.
Second one's not as good as the first one, in my opinion, but still pretty good.
I'm supposed to see Revenge of the Sith in theaters in a couple of days. That'll be fun.
Very nice.
You're a big Star Wars fan, right, Puddles?
I don't know if I'd say a big Star Wars fan, but
But you watch it. You watch it, right?
sure. I did see that Cinemark's doing that Revenge of the Sith
Yeah.
for the 20th year anniversary. I might go and see that.
Who knows? Maybe Anakin will show up to your theater experience. You know?
Oh, maybe.
I think I saw
He'll show
Hayden.
up in my
He was
dreams.
like showing up to a couple of the screenings, which is like pretty cool.
That's kind of cool.
Okay, are we happy with this shape? We think? Do you think that'll be good?
Let's see.
Maybe a little wider. I do want it to
Yeah,
be a
the
little
drone
less
shape's pretty good.
like super climbable. Like I want it to be kind of steep because I want people to like maybe take the stairs or just grapple up. Should I make it taller, you think? I think this is probably fine for the base. And I'll like polish it up to make it not look so world edited.
Classic.
Someone's saying that they used to play 12 years ago. Yeah. Shotbow is around still. MineZ is still around. We love MindZ. We're still making content for it. We actually just put out a pretty big update. We basically rebuilt an entire elite dungeon. It was DCS, Desert Canyon Sanctuary. The old one was pretty garbage. So we had some members from our team who had been working on it for several years, and it was one of those projects that kind of was like on and off, and we finally were like, you know what, let's just finish up this project and put it out, and it is now one of the best elite dungeons in my opinion. It's pretty cool and very challenging, but like in a fair way. I feel like, you know, it's not like some random doo-doo mechanics where like you just die to like instant void or some random stuff, and it's not as like annoying in that regard, and it's more forgiving, and we'd like to keep making that this sort of design philosophy for some of the other elite dungeons if we ended up getting to those, which I mean those are very big projects, but ideally, yeah, we'd love to probably refresh most of the elite dungeons, but to be determined. Our poor redstoner Chris was working overtime trying to do DCS. Oh my goodness. Like the number of command blocks in there was astounding. Like there's some mad scientist work right there to get that running.
You got someone saying, is it making money or you just absolutely love this?
Well,
What do you think?
we don't make money. We are a volunteer team in the staff Discord, or the staff MineZ stuff, right? You know, none of us are getting paid. We just do it for the joy of the game. But the server does, you know, make money because there are like ranks and certain game modes have different things that I think you can purchase. But yeah. Oh no, I figure this is kind of like my creative outlet, and it's fun. And I guess it's kind of important to remember that, you know, we are a smaller staff team when it comes to MindZ, and it does take us time to make updates because we are human and we have lives outside of this, but we are very passionate right now about continuing to put out some interesting and impactful updates. So hopefully the ones coming in the future will be that way. And I know that there is a Q&A that's going to happen in the near future, and so we'll be going over some of the different questions that the community has and answering those with more concrete plans, because I'm not really the one to share what's on the table right now. But our wonderful lead, Mr. Jack, he can do that.
So true.
He's very handsome. You know that?
Oh, yeah. Most handsome guy there is.
Emmett says new DCS goes so hard, for real, for real. Yeah, for real. Also, I don't have the Twitch chat open. Has there been any activity in there?
Besides a random advertisement. It doesn't
Oh,
look like
lovely.
Most of the comments are coming in through YouTube, where we have 9 people watching. It looks like we have
Great.
4 people watching on the Twitch.
Yeah, I see that on my end.
Now
here.
we have 10 people on YouTube.
Let's go. Don't forget to like and comment and subscribe or something.
Okay.
I do want to do more streams, and they don't all have to be this sort of like I guess more chill building kind of stream. In the future, we'd like to maybe have streaming where it's like maybe staff plays MindZ, or maybe like a supply drop we're watching, or I don't know. If you guys have some ideas as well, comment those. Maybe we do them. Also events. We'd like to bring back some events maybe. Can live stream those as well. Where'd that ravine go that you made?
Oh, that was super ugly, so I deleted
Not happy with it. Okay. Maybe what we do is we have like some nice topography where it's like we've got like these rocks, right? And then like in between the rocks and maybe even surrounding this sort of castle, we have that sort of moat ravine little area.
Yeah, that could be cool.
It would be pretty cool. Let's do that.
That would be pretty cool. Thank you. Thank you.
It's like that. It's like that meme with Obama patting himself on the back, and he's awarding the award to Obama,
award,
which is himself.
Yes. We get someone say it would be just funny to see you guys playing your own game getting mad. That would be funny.
Yeah, I love that idea because look, it's not to say that I don't play MindZ, but it's like I feel guilty when I'm not playing MindZ, or when I'm not working on MindZ, because then people see me online and they're like, "Oh, look at that! The MindZ staff is not working on updates." And it's like, well, you know, I think it's still important that we play our game, and I'd like to if I have the free time. So that way, you know, if we're playing and we're like, "Oh wow, like this is a really awful feature," or like, "Oh, I would change this," like we can just change it, you know.
We got some handsome guy in chat.
Is that Mr.
Handsome
Jack? No way.
Staff
TCS run. Let's run it. I'm so serious. We should actually do that. I have been doing some DCS runs with other players, and it's very fun. I actually got the special unique armor that you can get if you do the challenge rooms. Pretty sick. Dare I say that that might be the most challenging dungeon, maybe alongside Zerbia. It depends on, like, you know, if you're doing Zerbia, like, let's say solo or even duo, it's like, yeah, it's pretty hard. And then I'd say maybe similar difficulty to like DCS if you do it in a duo, or like the main just normal non-challenge stuff as a solo. I feel like those are pretty hard.
We did get a question.
Yes, I see here.
What are both of your thoughts about combat-based POIs on the MindZ map? Mainly talking PvE, mostly POIs. Don't really have a easier versus harder area in the build itself, more spawner, etc.
POIs being like, is that people or places of interest?
Point of interest?
Point of interest. Probably. So you're saying, like, based on the region, it would be more or less difficult, like, once you enter that region? Like, maybe more zombies or something like that? I'm not sure I fully understand that question.
Yeah, if you want to elaborate a little more on that, because I know, like, there are some areas that are easier to have drops, like if it's close to a place that it's easy to gear, that kind of thing. Or if it's near water, it's going to be harder for people. People are just going to go to the water and swim.
You might be staff, but advertisement through streaming matters too. Yes, I agree. You know, there's only so much that we can do through here. So that's why I encourage any of you guys that love playing MindZ, keep making some content. Like, it helps. And at least I really thoroughly like checking it out. You know, like I do watch people's uploads when they upload them, whether it be like PvP montages or like Let's Plays or dungeon tutorials. Love those. Those are great. And if you want to go stream, more power to you. Like, there's a lot of content to be had in this game, and any advertisement is good. Although, please make it good and not like bad advertisement.
Yeah. Only make good videos, guys.
Yeah. It's so simple. Also, yes, diamond blocks. These are for retexturing later, because if I place a bunch of like cobblestone and diorite and then Pose is like, ew, gross, hate that, it's a little more work to replace. So diamond blocks better for now. And then maybe we have, yeah, the ravine going through there. Maybe make this a little taller. And yeah, maybe we do a stream where like we make some actual like permanent locations and not just like supply drop stuff, like little like minor locations or what have you. Dude, keep it diamond? I will. Yeah.
I agree. We should just keep it diamond.
We'll keep it diamond, and if you come to this location, you just get diamond armor, you know? That's your reward.
Yes, it's genius.
Oh, oops. Yeah, I like this shape a little more. Because now it's like you've got to like if you have some stairs, like I'd prefer to take the stairs and like jump up here.
Makes sense.
You know what I mean. You know what I mean.
What do we got? So let's say you have
Whoa.
the outer edge of the build that has little zombies, but then the further you progress into the heart of the build. Let's say castle or something. It gets harder and more PvE combat, traps, etc. Okay. I see what
Ah,
you're saying here.
that's an interesting idea.
I know a lot of PvPers are not huge fans of PvE kind of stuff when it comes to spawners. For some
Yeah,
reason, they don't like zombies in the zombie game.
they want us to take the Z out of MineZ.
Yes.
I would love to make some like PvE supply drops, but there'd be some dev work involved, and it would take some more time and planning. So that might be something, maybe,
Yeah.
because I love our PvE community. I did a lot of dungeons. I was mainly a PvE guy. I definitely PvP though, so like maybe not well. I might not be very good, but I used to go to a lot of supply drops back in my day.
True.
Puddles, you went also. Puddles is a big PvPer as well. Or at least, like, maybe not big, but, like, you did your fair share of PvPing, no?
I suppose.
Okay, so I'm thinking we have... Maybe we don't have, like, a winding staircase. I don't want this to look like a... What is that, like, Camp Azara, where it's, like, got the winding thing. I think we just have, like, it's made out of stone, and it's just coming from, like, maybe just one general entrance. Or maybe two. We have, like, a front door and a back door. Yeah.
Okay.
So we have it, like, kind of like this. Row. Oh, wait, the Twitch chat gets put through into the YouTube chat. Oh my gosh. Okay,
And
so I don't
it
have
does
to.
the same thing for Twitch too. So you really only need to look at one.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm a little new to this, guys, if you can't tell. So I'm learning.
We have a comment. How do you guys build Germany? Ah, yes. I don't know about building Germany.
Building
A little
Germany.
tricky. A little tricky, if you ask me.
Okay, so we have like this front, this back area.
So
Maybe,
said,
like,
who's the
get rid of this
cameraman?
one.
That would be SuperWolfster.
It's me. Yeah, it might be a little boring because I'm not exactly the best builder, but I'll pan over to Puddles' work over here every so often.
Hey, you don't have to.
Building. Look at this. This is wonderful, no? And look, you can see that in the distance over there. Puddles made that, although it's a mock-up. We could have like some towers that are like on the peripheral here, and like those would have a couple of loot chests, or we just throw them on top of the rocks.
I was thinking like one other tower to the side would be nice.
Yeah.
Or are you saying like a whole separate tower?
No. This should be just the main build. I mean, we could put like a small tower, but then we're kind of like losing identity of this build because it'll look more like the one by McHarlington. Because like people are like, oh yeah, it's so easy to make supply drops. And it's like, you're not wrong, but if you're just making those like little towers or like a little house and some chests, like I feel like it's a little lazy to do that, and it also like makes it a little more difficult to remember distinct supply drops. So like by having, you know, a more unique one, people are like, oh yeah, like the one by Wizard's Pass or whatever, which I think that one actually was seen for the first time today. I had help from Ender and Finn with making it, but that was definitely my favorite of the three that I made. So hopefully people like that. Okay, this is tall enough. I think this might even be a little too tall, perhaps. Oh, we've got X-Hat in the chat. Hi, X-Hat. Well, what is this PDA in the chat? Okay, I'm gonna like actually start building rather than just using world edit now. In a sec. so
What?
we have, maybe we have like, what the heck is this? Get this out of my face. I'm envisioning we have the staircase going down and kind of like around, maybe on this side here. Just kind of rough sketch. Kind of like that. And then yeah. And then this one over here can go, I don't know, just the opposite way. Also, I'm not the biggest world edit like savant or whatever, so bite me. If you see me placing blocks, this is how I do it. Okay, I can use world edit, but like I'm not very good at like using it to in a controlled way. Okay, and yeah, that should fit on there probably. Let me try. Okay. I might try and dig out some of the ravine or trench area. What tool did you use, or like what world edit stuff were you doing when you were experimenting earlier for the trench?
I was using GoBrush actually, which
Oh boy, I have no idea what that is.
if you hold a piece of flint and steel, and then type
Oh wait, I might know this actually. Okay, go ahead. What were you saying?
you can type /GB space toggle.
Okay.
While holding the flint and steel, or not flint and steel, flint. Sorry. Flint and steel.
Flint and steel. Chicken Jackie. Dude, okay, that movie was like a 5 out of 10 with the script writing, but like the actual cinema experience was like a 10 out of 10. That was great.
Interesting.
Okay, so so then if I just like, how do I make it air?
So here, left click first.
Okay. Oh, what?
And it shows all the different things you can do to like indent. You're gonna do push mode rather than pull. If you see that on there.
Push mode. Oh yeah. Okay.
And then there's a bunch of different things you can do. I probably wouldn't go too big with it, but yeah.
How do you set the brush?
It's gonna be on the left.
Yeah,
the book.
the hills.
You click that, and then you can choose like.
Oh, China Mountain. Crater, volcano. Oh wait, these are really cool. Okay. And if I'm trying to just do like a, more of like a skinny line, I guess I wouldn't choose any of these, right?
I mean, I'd probably use something like.
Oh, maybe like mountain.
Yeah, something
or
like that.
Plains Cliff. Let's just try Plains Cliff for now. Let's see what happens. Okay, dope. This is exactly what I wanted actually. Thank you, Puddles.
Yep.
You're something of a genius.
I'm pretty much a genius.
He's literally a genius.
Probably other builders in chat like this guy's an idiot.
Like, get a load of these guys.
So if you turn down the intensity on
Yeah.
it won't do like as much randomness.
Oh, whoops. Left click. But I kind of like the randomness, no?
Okay, okay. If you say so.
I'll try. I'll see what it looks like. But...
Oh, yeah, you
Oh, I see. It goes, yeah, okay,
Oh,
okay.
whoa, 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 whoa!
What?
You're deleting my stuff up here.
Why is it vertical as well? What?
It's always vertical.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry,
Here,
Puddles.
undo.
I'm just. Is it all back?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just
My
gonna move this to
apologies.
the side so you can work on.
I really didn't think it was it was the entire
you're
like
good, you're good.
why. Okay.
Let's just move this 20.
Oh shit! Wait. Oh,
Okay, there you go.
hopefully I didn't just take a chunk off. I might have. Yeah, I just took a little bit of a chunk off of here. I think.
Here, let me undo, and then you can undo yours.
There.
Okay, now
I think
I'll
it's
move this
good.
20.
Yeah.
There we go. There you go. Plenty of room over there.
Yes, sir.
Thinking how I want to do this part now.
Yes, the Technoblade reference. Someone says in the chat. Yeah, it was nice, and I think I was seeing in like an interview or something with some of the cast. They were saying that it was the younger boy. I forget his name. In the movie, he was the one that really pushed for that and got them to add it. So it wasn't even like the directors intended initially, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, I see a lot of people dog on that guy's character in the movie, and I I don't really get it. You know, it's like he's a kid. Like, you know, if you're annoyed, like, okay, that's kind of the point. It's like he's a kid, and he's more so supposed to stand in there as like a figure for kids that are watching to be like, oh, like this is just like how I play Minecraft, maybe. And I think his character is more like a modder as well, something like that. At the end of the day, it's a kids movie, you know. Whatever.
They should have made it for me. They should have.
A rated R Minecraft movie. That'd be wild.
Yes, yes. That'd have been awesome.
Okay, maybe we don't make this
I wonder,
too deep.
I wonder how tall this terrain is on the map. So I know like how tall we can make this without touching
Like the mountain here.
just like where we are right now.
Oh, like the Y level.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be very tall. I mean, this is like more or less like this is like what normal MineZ height is like by the ice river. Like if that makes sense. Not makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't think you're gonna hit the build limit if that's your concern.
Yes, that is my concern.
No, I think you're good. No one better than this stream. Amen. Will either of you play the Oblivion remaster, or is it not a type of game either of you enjoy? I was
I'll probably
actually,
play it.
yeah, I was thinking I might. Should we? Is there multiplayer? Can we play together?
I don't think so.
No, I'm sure somebody's made a mod for that already. Surely.
Probably.
Wow, this looks like diarrhea. Oh my goodness. It'll be shaped up. It is just rough initially.
Very rough. Jeez.
Super rough.
Super rough stir.
We just leave it like this. Peak.
Yes.
I'll have like maybe one kind of. Oh, it's this. One kind of coming out this way, maybe. You know, I don't want this to turn into like a Tristitia Crypts kind of, or Tristitia like whatever the hell it's called, because that just looks awful, and it is horrible to navigate with the ravines. You know what I mean, Puddles? Like I think Jack did some work to make the ravines a little easier to travel, but like it's just so it at some point that'll maybe be changed to be a little more navigatable.
Interesting.
Watch out, don't terraform too low. Whoa. Holy crap, you're going all out on this puddles. Okay. Very fancy. And I actually I don't know if you were planning to leave these open. It might be kind of nice to allow people to like kind of grapple up through like a hole, you know?
I mean, this isn't really what you'd want to grapple into, but
True.
you can look at it once.
Sorry, I saw your unfinished masterpiece. My apologies.
Yeah, don't ever do that again, or else
Or else what?
we'll have to see.
Okay. Oh boy, this is almost looking like a meteor crater. Oof. Look, guys, I'm self-aware. Okay, I know it's not very good, at least right now.
Yeah, this is just before the detailing.
The magic.
I haven't looked at the chat for a little bit. You're about to expose the command block that gives me game mode.
Oh no, that would be so horrible. Here, let me just add that in real quick. Let me just get my command block.
True.
Okay. If you know from watching the stream, this command block will be hidden and it gives you game mode 1. There we go. That'll definitely work. And now you have game mode 1. You can enjoy that now. It's still there, guys, okay? So if you know, you know. Oh yeah, speaking of the Minecraft movie from our earlier conversation, that meme with the chicken jockey. When I was at a concert the other night, there was some guy who was on some other guy's shoulders, and my friend shouted out, he goes, "Chicken jockey," to that. It's pretty funny.
That's funny.
And then some other guy in the crowd who's behind me, he goes, "Hey man, get on my shoulders, I'll pick you up." I'm like, I don't know you, bro. I don't trust you with my life to carry me on your shoulders and not drop me. Like, no thank you. And then he kept on going around to other people, and he was like asking other random people and being like, "Just get on my shoulders, trust me." I'm like, no. Okay, let's see what this looks like with some... I'm sure, Puddles, you'll probably do some sort of like proper brushing, but I'm just curious to see what this looks like if we replace diamond. Actually, let me get... What is this? We've got some of this. Oh no, I'm playing in 120. I can't see the block IDs. Crap. Oh no. I'm just going to do it based on percent because that is the extent of my knowledge for this. There's no way that works. It didn't like concrete powder. Okay, fair enough. What is it even called? That is what it's called. Okay, maybe I just spelled it wrong? No. Puddles, can you find me the ID number for the green concrete powder, if you don't mind?
Yep.
It's the darker green, not the...
It's going to be
line.
251.13.
Sick. Okay, that is... Wow.
Did you say powder?
Yeah,
Powder
yeah, that's...
252.13.
252.13. Yeah, okay. So this would be like the palette. Of course, it's not going to look like this random mumble jumble of blocks, but Hang on, I will be right back. I'm gonna be AFK real quick. Just 1 sec.
Alright guys, I'm taking over the stream. This is the puddle stream now. I'm scared. Let's see what people are saying in the chat. Meteor Crater 3.0 dungeon. Yeah, I don't think so. Imagine terraforming MindZ map while building a new supply drops and accidentally exposing. Okay. You can use a gravity block for the topsoil terrain alteration.
Okay, I'm back. Quick little potty break and grab some cheese stick because I'm a little hungry.
I had to keep everyone entertained while you were gone.
Oh, it must have been so hard. I'm so sorry, Puddles.
It was. It was a scary moment for me.
Okay, let's check the comments. What are people saying? Imagine terraforming MineZ map while building new supply drops and accidentally. Yeah, it's. You can use a gravity block for the topsoil terrain alteration. I'm not sure I quite understand what you mean by that. But if you want to elaborate, yep. Region. I can't say that. But yeah. Sorry, my lips are sealed. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of polish this up. This looks horrible.
That's how builds start.
So rough to be a builder, man.
True. Gonna be a very large tower.
Good. That's good. I mean, look, that the supply drop that's right by Fort Erie, that's like that big house, like that is a big supply drop now. Like I figure this should be fine.
I suppose. I do suppose.
Yeah, I don't think this like little ravine should be difficult to traverse. I don't want it to be. I think it should just be something that like it's like, oh, like a little different kind of terrain. Maybe encourages people to not run away. You know, maybe they get a little trapped on their way out. kind of like that depth a little more. Otherwise, it gets to be a little toxic. If only the snow biome still had the tiered snow layers. Yeah, it's one of those things with like no cheat where it's just kind of it's difficult to incorporate more like variation in the snow layers because I know that there are people who like when they're on snow layers they're like, let me demonstrate. Like this is okay, this is not okay, this is not okay. All of these, as far as I'm aware, are mostly not okay. So like if it's on top of a structure, like on a roof or somewhere that players normally won't go, it's like, oh yeah, it's probably fine. But if it's like all on the ground where people are walking a lot, that's where there's an issue. Especially if like for whatever reason there's like world edit used and it's like floating, then people get no cheated in like a continuous loop and they're just like frozen. It's really bad. I do apologize. This is not the most riveting content, but I mean, it just kind of goes to show that at least when it's me working on stuff, it's a little tedious.
Yeah, I'm not usually used to
people watching over your shoulder
while I build.
Yeah, no, normally a lot of the projects, at least that I work on, are like, you know, if I get like a free moment, I'll just like hop on, maybe like 30 minutes, an hour. Maybe I have like a little bit of a plan, get some stuff done, and it's like, okay, great. And I'm not like, you know, showcasing it to other people. Usually you guys just see like the final product, and it's like, oh wow, great.
Yeah.
Just magic that makes it happen. I'll add in some like coarse dirt and some other stuff into here. Yeah, I like the shape of this rock. Whatever you did here, Puddles, was nice.
Oh yeah, there was there's actually a brush command for the rock, or I guess you used a brush command too. I'm just better.
Ah man, one day I want to be just like Puddles.
Yeah, not gonna happen.
Please, Sensei, take me in. Teach me your ways.
No.
Fine, keep your secrets.
Keep your secrets.
What is the chat saying? Oh no, we've got Tana in here. Tana's a very good builder. Probably rolling around like, oh my god, these fools. Or at least me. I don't know what I'm doing. Look away, Tan. Yeah. Hey, look, you know what? It works, all right? It works. This is also why I usually will like tag team different like build constructions that I do, because if I'm left to my own machinations, it's not gonna look very good. I never claim to be a builder, all right? I help where I can.
The rough outline for it.
Exactly. I'm the ideas man, okay? I make ideas and I do some rough outline stuff, and then the people who are actually competent will step in and make it look really nice and pretty.
Yes, yes.
Okay, that's fine. I'm tired of ravines. What do I want to do next? Actually, I'll finish this up. What is a brush? Yeah. What is a brush? No, I know some basic world edit stuff. It's just as far as like being efficient, I'd probably spend just as much time figuring out how to do it the same way, which would probably actually be better. I should probably just learn. I do like learning. It's just I don't know. Maybe Puddles. Maybe you can teach me and the viewers how you do like the patterns for replacing blocks. You know what I'm talking about? It's a brush and you use like the G mask to.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about? It's like you've done for like the water patterns, and there's like other patterns as well.
Uh-huh. Yeah, maybe.
If you would like to share your secrets with me.
I'm too busy right now.
No, after. Once you're done cooking.
Okay.
Jesse, we need to cook.
Yes, of course.
That was our best build. That was the very first build that you and I worked on. Was the April Fool's RV.
Oh yeah.
Which was a reference to a certain show. If you know, you know.
I saw that.
No. You're stream sniping. You can't do that. I mean, like 2 years ago, Ender taught like everything about world edit, but I only retained what things I did. Yeah, Ender's taught me, or at least he's tried to teach me some stuff. I know how to like do spikes and things, although it's been a while, so I might need a refresher. I think the basic idea with those is you have like you select one area, you select another, and then it like kind of fills in the gap between. And so you can also he was showing me there was another tool that we used for one of the supply drops where it's like it has like flame particles or something, and you can like have it be more organic shaped, and it'll like make like a bridge or some other stuff along that particle trail. You know what I'm talking about?
I was not paying attention to anything.
Oh my gosh. You are the worst co-host I've ever seen. No, I'm kidding.
Yes. That's what I'm here for.
Man, I so badly want to do like some spectating supply drops and just like I think for those we'd have to have some sort of stream delay, because my concern would be if we're like broadcasting like, you know, Billy Bob Joe is at the supply drop, then let's say if somebody hates Billy Bob Joe, they're just gonna like zoom over and they'll be like, yes, I know exactly where he is, I'm gonna kill him. So
why would anyone hate Billy Bob Joe?
I don't know. He's a great guy.
Best friends. There we go.
Oh, dude, wait. Maybe we're cooking with this idea, or maybe it's just dumb. We have a button or something, or some sort of like visual indicator on the tower, where if you like shoot it or interact with it, it like releases like vines using a command block, so people can climb up, and it's like relatively timed-ish, but or the vines are just always there. I don't know.
I know in like higher versions you can climb up vines without them being attached to anything. Is that the same for like 1.12 as well?
I don't think so. We could test that. But because I see what you mean. Like you're saying, if we just have it like off of like these here, and then people could like climb up. Yeah. But I don't think we. It's kind of iffy. If anyone knows the answer to that, feel free to share.
Chat.
Let's ask chat.
1.12 players.
112 enjoyers.
I'm not seeing anything. Oh well. We can always test later.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's like it's a very niche thing to know. I'd be surprised if anyone knew off the top of their head.
Perhaps. Tower gonna be too big for the hill. Well, we could always sink down the hill and make it bigger.
Oh, yeah, because this does add quite a bit of height. Be like knockback Palooza on top of there. I love that though. Like, I mean, risk versus reward, right? You know, if you want to get the chests up top, be prepared. I am a fan though of like this ravine because it kind of means that people either have to take like the staircase to get up on either side, or they have to grapple, and so I feel like it makes it a little more strategic as far as, you know, holding your position, because you're really only having to look at like one or two spots for people coming in, which is kind of cool.
We have a message from Tanatron. You cannot climb floating vines in 1.12.
Yeah, I thought so. Dang. Okay.
Unfortunate.
Now we could do a ladder. Like basically, if you shoot the button, it would like release a ladder that kind of falls down, and people could like climb up that.
That's true. Then someone places a button down, and the ladder just gets demolished.
Yeah. I'm sure somebody would find a way to glitch the ladder and keep it for themselves. Although we could just put barriers behind it and just say, you know, screw it, like, not today.
By the way, there is like a probably like 7-second delay from YouTube to Twitch. Doesn't really matter, but
oh, okay. Yeah, there's nothing I can do about that, I think. I think that's just part of it, but that's good to know. Thank you.
Also, Tanatron, message me when you get a chance.
Messaged you?
All right. No. I'm telling Tanatron to message me.
Oh.
Let's take a look at what Wolf's doing down here.
No. It's nothing compared to whatever.
Beautiful.
I've just been, you know, playing around in the dirt here, you know, with like my stick and just drawing stuff in the mud, you know.
Yes. good.
Hey, someone's got to do the dirty work here.
Mm-hmm. True.
Anyways, this is the rough idea of the terrain. We could have like a little bridge between here, maybe. Okay, I'm gonna start working on the staircase because. So I'm thinking we maybe have the staircase go from like here to here off of like one of the boulders. We could have like two actually, like boom, and then boom.
How
And
many
then
booms
maybe
can we get?
Huh?
How many booms can we get?
5 big booms. Boom. Boom. I'm not gonna do the other 3.
Good.
Okay, and then maybe like we just have 2 bridges, like one from here and one from like this one. Maybe this one needs to move. I'm too lazy, whatever. Just get rid of this. Okay, that's better distance, and then okay. Which wood are you using? You're using spruce, right?
I'm mostly using oak.
No, but the planks is what I mean. These are spruce, right?
Oh yeah, spruce.
Yeah, okay.
True.
I want to make sure it's consistent for the bridges. Although maybe the bridges actually look better with oak because that kind of distinguishes it. Because you know who's building their bridge out of the same material that like their house is made out of? Like maybe not.
True.
Actually, that's kind of a dumb point. they might actually.
Yeah, pretty much everybody.
We can just change it later if it doesn't work. Okay, let's have it go like roughly like this. We'll have it go to like here-ish. Maybe have this start a little higher up. Who is that?
Hello.
It is Jack.
It's Mr. Jack. Hello. Welcome. For our viewers who might not be aware, Mr. Jack is one of the MindZ co-leads. He is very handsome. And welcome.
Dude, you're gonna make him blush.
I hope I do.
Thank you. Yeah, just wanted to stop in and see what you guys had done so far.
Pretty much nothing.
Oh, that's awesome. We love that. I like it. Is this tower going to be all the way up in the sky, or will it be moved?
Not right there in the sky.
Okay, yeah.
The idea is it's sort of like a Rapunzel tower kind of thing, where it's like you've got this sort of main rock island sort of structure here, and then this tower will be like kind of on top of it, and people can reach this middle area from some bridges. They can grapple up. They can climb up, which would take longer, but they can do that. And we might add a little fun things, some pistons, maybe like a button that will cause some ladders to descend, something like that. Who knows?
Yeah. Feels very cornucopia-y from like Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Like central thing. I like that.
If you want to help out with, building, or if you have some ideas for some stuff, do whatever. Go crazy. Go crazy.
I'm just here to judge.
Okay. Sounds good.
No, I won't be here too long. I'm gonna get SS set up in a little bit.
Oh yeah.
But
nice.
just wanted to drop in and see what's going on.
Thank you for joining us.
Oh yes, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I was stoked at the number of people who were in chat and were like, "Wow, I didn't even know the server was still on."
Yeah.
So it's cool that that you captured an audience of people who didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, I'm glad, really.
Are you gonna put any hazards in this trench around this hill?
We could
or is
put
it just a trench.
It is just a trench at the moment. We could put
I'm not saying fill it with lava or anything. I'm just wondering.
No, I think just the trench itself is a bit of a hazard because it's like you have to kind of just get out of there, otherwise the other team might hop on top of you. I was gonna say maybe zombie spawners, but I don't like that idea now that I've said it. People hate their zombies in MineZ with supply drops.
Zombies in my zombie game. It's terrible.
Yeah, no, I can't have that. We've got like that. Okay.
Did you already talk about any other potential locations you've been thinking of or anything? Or you
yes, actually,
close to the chest for now.
So no, I did share at the beginning of the stream, and I will reshare right now just because people might not have been here for that. Maybe they forgot. So we are currently making supply drops in case it wasn't obvious. I think it's in the title of the stream, but we have 5 different supply drop locations which we've already selected. However, if y'all in the chat who are watching decide like, oh, I've got like a really great idea that I'd like to share, and maybe they build a supply drop location there, feel free to share, because we might look at it and be like, yeah, that's a good location, you're spot on, and we'll maybe do in there. But the supply drop locations are drop 1. Oh, so this is number 1. Number 2 is in the gravel. This is just south of Shrine of the Dusk. So this is like on the plateau. This goes way farther down, but we only got, the portions that we care about here. This one is just west of Basil. So you've got like this ice road, and I think over there would be like where Cyrus is. And then 4, I think a lot of you will recognize where this is. This is Hassa. I did explain earlier, this is a bit of a more controversial supply drop location, because I don't know if people would want one between Hassa and Giant's Camp, because it is pretty easy to re-pot up at the pot tower by, in Hassa. But this is an option. And this one is just south of Ravine. So these are our options, and we're not like, they're not set in stone. If you guys don't like a location, also let us know, because that's important to know.
I very routinely do perusing around the MindZ map just to take a look at places that look a bit too quiet, don't have enough stuff going on, and I feel like I'm looking at a good spot for one.
Ooh, what is it?
feel like we could do one kind of close to Crow, because I feel like there aren't
Close
too
to
many
Crow. Oh,
that
okay.
direction.
Like in the autumn forest or
Mhm.
seasonal one or whatever it's called. Yeah.
Do you see that spot in between Crow and Sank that is clear
look
of
at my map.
trees? I feel like we put one right there.
Sorry, viewers, you won't be able to see this, but I'm just quickly referencing.
Or viewers.
Oh, I see where the rocks are. That little clearing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good spot.
Trying to think. I think the closest drop to there is Shire. Isn't there one at Shire?
Yes, there is.
Yeah, I think that's probably the closest one in that area.
Okay.
Let's put one at Sunken Library. How's that?
Oh yes, everyone would
Yeah.
love that. I love
Yeah.
Sunken Library.
It's the best dungeon.
I don't love it.
By far.
I lied.
You know what dungeon I do love?
DCS.
DCS.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite. Do we have any DCS lovers out there? Put your comments in the chat about how much you love it.
I wonder if at this point Chris loves DCS.
I probably hates it.
or
He's
if
probably
he's
sick of it.
traumatized.
Poor guy.
Chris said no.
Valid.
Poor Chris. Hundreds of hours later, but
It was worth it.
put out a great product. Yeah. He did
At least
good
I hope
job.
he feels like it was worth it. I think it was worth it.
Reception has been good so far, so I
Oh,
think he
great.
should feel good about himself. Trying to ask, where are all the Red Demon Temple enjoyers at? I think they're all over the map. Those pushable blocks are everywhere now. It started a great trend.
I think the Red Demon Temple enjoyers might be sleeping, because they got put to sleep by
They're-
that dungeon.
There could be many more of them. They're just not active at the moment. But
they're sleepers, sleeper agents, right? You said you say Red Demon Temple, and they suddenly wake up and they're like, where? I do enjoy the aspect of having puzzles and pushing things, but it's just like once you learn it in RDT, it's like it's just over. You've done it, right? And then every other time it's kind of the same. So
it's a good introductory dungeon. I was
Absolutely.
so excited when it when it got reworked because I was so bad at the game, and I remember going to it and being like, "Holy crap! I can solo this. I'm so good at MindZ now." Where, in truth, it was it wasn't that hard. But it holds a special place in my heart. It's a good dungeon.
yeah, and the legendary is like okay, so it's like I don't think you like have to go out of your way to do it, but if you do, it's good. And most of the
Love
time
to
when I have
gamble.
friends, sorry, go ahead,
I just said I love gamble.
dude. We should just implement casinos or just gambling into MineZ. There we go. There's our content.
Meridian Casino.
Yeah. Like some CS:GO, like loot boxes. We're not doing loot boxes. That is nah.
I think that's against the EULA.
Yeah, it
I
is.
don't
That's
think
why
we
I'm
can
saying
do
nah. Because I know some people would probably love loot boxes, but like I'm not trying to have Mojang after us. No, thank you.
Can you gamble a supply drop chest? I don't think you can,
No.
right? Yeah.
The supply drop chests, as
God.
far as I'm aware, they just
That's good.
stay in the world.
Yeah. So they can't be gambled. That'd be crazy.
I wonder, like, would that be such a bad thing? I would say, I don't know.
I think in their current state, probably. Yeah. if those loot tables get massive changes one day, then maybe. But for now, I think they gotta stay that way.
Mm-hmm. This is certainly a bridge.
White.
Any Lost Thieves Guild fans? Ooh, you know, someone I know made a tutorial on that dungeon, and it was actually not the best tutorial.
Did you make it?
I did. Oh my gosh. How did you know?
Oh wow. We got
Yeah,
a
wow.
celebrity in our presence.
Yeah. Something of a YouTuber.
Mhm.
I make dungeon guides when I feel like it. Once in a blue moon. Rarely. Once every other blue moon.
I'm gonna rework exclusively dungeons that you've made tutorials for, so you have to do more work.
Oh,
That'd be awesome.
wow. Honestly, if that's what it takes to get a redo for a dungeon, yes. Great. Let me just go quickly upload a sunken library tutorial. Oh no, please don't
Yeah.
make a rebuild of that. Oh no, no.
Romero tutorial.
When I'm done with Romero, it will not exist anymore. I am the number one Romero
Maze Reveal
hater.
Part 2. Just nuke it.
Please. I get the desire to keep it around, you know. It's like, oh yeah, it's like nostalgia, and like, yeah, it's like from 10 years ago or whatever. It's like we love our 10-year-old builds, I guess, but it's like it is just such a bad look if somebody joins the server and they see a 10-year-old build and they're like, wow, MindZ has not changed, because that's the first thing they see.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we take the old Romero, and once another Romero is built, we put it below it.
We push it somewhere else.
Yep. $1 million idea right there.
To be fair, we did that with DCS.
Nothing stopping us. Yeah.
That's a good point.
Wolfster, are you available next week to make another supply drop?
Oh my gosh. I would love to. Probably. I don't know what like my schedule looks like, but I definitely do want to do some more streaming if people like it. Even if they don't, you know what? I'm still gonna do it anyways. Maybe.
Fight streaming. Perfect.
But I do hope, you know, this is somewhat entertaining, or at least provide some insight into at least how supply drops are built, because this isn't exactly how like most builds are built. I'd leave that to our build lead Ender if he wanted to share how to do that, which he has streamed in the past, and he's incredibly talented. But I would not be doing big builds or anything like that, because I'm not. I can't do that. But I was thinking maybe for our next stream, we either continue doing this. We could we could show either SS or a supply drop, or maybe both, because I think there is one around SS that usually occurs. Or we play the game.
think that'd be really cool. Staff DCS run.
Staff DCS run.
Mm-hmm.
We could maybe even have like some viewers as well join if they wanted, perhaps. But I think maybe for the first stream it would just be staff, and we could have some other staff invited into the call, and you guys get to kind of learn a little bit more about some of the staff personalities and who's on the team making content, which is pretty cool.
We gotta have Chris join so he can teach us all the best tips and tricks of DCS.
I would love if when we're running DCS, we have Chris just like nerding out about like, yeah, the redstone for this was really horrible to make, and it was very challenging, and blah, blah, blah. Like he's basically giving us a rundown of what the developmental process looked like for it.
Yeah, he could talk about the many thousands of command blocks that he did, I think, almost entirely on his own.
Yeah, it's so impressive, really. It'll be hard to recreate something like that again, at least of that magnitude. Not to say that it can't be of similar quality, but it's a lot of command blocks. I don't know, Chris, do you want to, in the chat, if you want to say, you want to do another project like that? Maybe another 2 or 3 years to make something? It'll become your life. That is what will consume you.
I think we got to get Chris on another multi-thousand command block project.
Yeah.
He yearns for it.
Maybe even more.
Yeah, maybe tens of thousands.
Oh, that's because it's better, because it's more.
Yeah, the more there it is, the better the dungeon is.
Look at Chris smiling in chat.
He's so eager and excited to start his next giant project.
Yeah, we would love to do that. Wolf, is the idea that is this a hill in the middle, or is it like a meteor that fell in and caused this impact, or is it just more like natural terrain?
Yeah, so it's supposed to be a little more natural terrain. You see this boulder over where I am, right here.
Oh, with that palette. Yeah.
The mossy ones. Yeah, I figured we could do something kind of like this, where it's just a larger version of it. And I mean, we could just get rid of these little ravines down here if it kind of looks a little jank, but because it might look a little out of place.
I think if you just smooth it out, it could work well.
Yeah, I think the move would be to make it blend in more, so it's not so much a ravine, but it's more of like this is just more elevated and there's a little bit of descending parts to it. Yeah, because I see her point. It definitely looks like this thing just like kerplunked its way right here, from the sky.
Johnny A Part 2 that they just missed.
Looks like a supply drop just spawned.
Yeah, it spawned really high up in the sky and then just sat down. That's how they all do that.
I'm talking about on the.
He's talking about a real one.
a real supply drop just spawned on the.
Oh! I was like, oh, okay.
Yes, this just spawned.
Which one was it?
DCS.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Not scripted.
Mm-mm.
Promoting new content.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was eating my cheese stick.
How dare you?
On
Dude.
stream?
My cheese stick was like lukewarm. That was not a very good cheese stick. I let it sit out too long.
It's kind of gross.
You know what? It was still edible, so I figured I have to eat it. You know, it's a waste otherwise.
Anything's edible if you try hard enough.
Really?
Yeah, please.
I mean, I can't promise good results, but you know,
Interesting.
I'd like to be clear, this is not a medical stream. I'm not a doctor.
Do not take Jack's advice. Do not eat lukewarm cheese sticks that have stayed out for very long.
Wolf, how many supply drop chests are you envisioning for the build?
Maybe like
Hard
10
to
or
say
20.
when it's not done. 20.
I mean,
Oh,
this
man.
build, it's
Like
not
60.
hard to implement. Like, because,
Just
you know, you
60,
can put them on top of the rocks or around the
Mhm.
base or just, like, straight up inside of the tower, right?
Yeah, I mean, hard to give a exact thought before it's done, but just wondering if you had something in mind before you started or anything.
I usually try and add at least, like, 8 or so places, and then I'll let you kind of choose. But in the past, have you found, for the locations that I've indicated, that you need to add more or less?
I think in the past I've removed just a couple. One of the new ones, the ice depot that you made,
Yeah.
had a lot of options. Something I'm trying to be mindful of is making sure that since the frequency of supply drops has increased, that
Hmm.
we're just a touch more conservative with how many chests are in each drop.
Yeah.
Just since you can go to so many more each week.
Absolutely. So, what would you recommend we do for this one?
Well, I can refer back to the previous ones that we just implemented, and I'll tell you how many we did for those.
Sick.
Because I think that was a good amount. I think it was around 8. Like, I think you were, like, kind of hit the nail on the head. Somewhere between 7 and 8 is usually good. A slight majority of them are supply drop low chests, and then a minority of them are supply drop highs.
Okay.
Yeah, so for example, so the Dust Devil supply drop by Basil and the Ice Depot supply drop by the Statue of Agni, both of which Wolfster made, for anyone who didn't know. Both of those have 7 chests, and I feel like that was
Gotcha.
a pretty good amount.
Cool.
So it's 4 lows and 3 highs for each of those.
You said 4 highs, 3 lows. Yeah.
Reverse.
Oh, three.
4 lows. Or 4 lows.
4
3
lows,
highs.
3 highs.
Maybe I said that wrong. I don't know.
No, I wasn't fully paying attention. I'm sorry.
That's okay. You got a stream to take care of. I understand.
Yeah, so I guess we could also even plan like the highs would probably makes sense to have in the tower, and then the lows maybe down below. Something like that.
Puddles, I'm loving the tower so far, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, this is really good.
It's almost reminiscent of Wizard Tower with the
A
blue
little bit.
top. Yeah.
Jack, it looks like you've got a little fanboy in the comments. I mean, I'm of course the number one Mr. Jack fanboy, but that would probably be like number 2 or something in there.
I'll let you guys duke it out amongst yourselves.
All right, meet me Hassa at midnight when the clock strikes.
That can be our next live stream 1v1s with staff.
I don't know if that'd go very well.
I will lose every fight. I will not beat a single person.
That's what I'm saying with me, man. I'm so washed when it comes to PvP.
I'm not even washed. Washed implies that I was good originally.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Maybe once we finish this supply drop, we'll go to it the first time it spawns.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Although it's so hard to say, like, when, because, I mean, I guess we could just, well, but we don't even get to choose, even when we, like, spawn it in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, manually.
We'll just keep an eye and an ear out. I'll have an account geared.
Just one ear and one eye? Figure you should use both of them, no?
Well, if all 3 of us are using an eye and an ear, that's actually more than what one normal person could do. So.
Whoa.
That's like at least 2 eyes and ears.
Yeah.
At least, yeah.
It's a full set. Wolf, of your supply drops that you just made, do you have a favorite of them? Did you make
Yes,
3?
yes.
Right?
I really like the Wizard Tower one, or like whatever you call it, the
Wizard's Pass.
Wizard's Pass. Yes, that one is cool because I think it's really interesting terrain. You can have people who are up top on the plateau dropping down into it. You also have, you know, it being in the canyon means that it's more difficult to run away from a fight, which I think most people would agree is good for fights. And I don't know, just kind of an interesting build because it's like inside of already existing terrain. It's not like we made that sort of plateau for it. It was like kind of baked into it, which I really like. You know, it's more world building.
Yeah.
I like the ice one because of the armor stands that are inside, which is like a cool little detail if you haven't seen that already. And the Dust Devil one definitely has the most like unique look to it, but it is more simple, which is probably like why it's not my favorite.
Yeah, I love the armor stands that you put into the Ice Depot one. They look great.
I want to do more stuff with armor stands because it takes some work, but it really adds some, you know, storytelling to builds and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And with the help of Chris has showed me like you can use with armor stands holding like blocks and items like that. You can have them like layered to construct like something that normally like you would never see in the game. Like I know in the special structure that is inside of DCS, there's an armor stand that's holding like a cup, and the cup is like it's two armor stands with like a glass block and some sort of like stone slab or something, and it forms the illusion of a cup, which is like very creative. And I think we can do some more stuff with that maybe in the future.
Yeah. What's your favorite DCS room that we made?
I think it depends, like from a playing standpoint or just from like a creative standpoint, or both.
Either. Your choice.
From a gameplay perspective, I really like the maze that we made in the second challenge room. That one was quite the undertaking. It took our team like 2 months or something, maybe like a month. And a lot of that time was spent like coming up with the mechanics of that room and how exactly it would work, and then the planning out of it. But we had like something like 5 or 6 people working on different sections of different rooms, and so that actually worked to our benefit, because those rooms need their own sort of individual identities, so that way people can tell them apart and be like, oh yeah, go to the green area with like the cobwebs, or go to like the redstone area with like the pistons or whatever. And I think having so many people giving their build style and their input and all of that is pretty cool, because like it's okay for those build styles to be distinct, because that's kind of the point in that maze. So love that. What about you, Mr. Jack? What about you?
Favorite gameplay? I would agree. I think MineZ is really cool. Chris did an awesome job putting that whole system together. I can't even begin to fathom all the work that he put into that. But I think my favorite's got to be Boss Room. I think he did a really nice job of weaving together a multitude of mechanics that make it really interesting. And I love the way that we had different audio cues and visual cues working together to telegraph the various parts of the boss. I feel like it's got a really good learning curve to it. And Chris was very mindful of that the whole time that he worked on it. I think design-wise, my favorite. I mean, I'm biased, but I do like the wave room in the third challenge room. I was very happy with that.
Yeah.
Chris spoke about it internally, but now that it's released, I'll speak on it now, since we're not hiding it anymore. But when we first put out the teaser for DCS, that Locke helped us come up with, it had a shot of that tree in the room, and Chris told me that he heard Senok mention that he thought the tree looked like the symbol of Theron, which is exactly what it's supposed to look like, and like no one else clocked that other than Senok, at least at the time. But I thought it was really cool that that someone else picked up on it, and yeah, I was proud of that room. It's pretty stylistically different than the rest of the dungeon, but I like that it kind of captured a different vibe, and I was happy with the way that turned out.
Yeah, I agree. That see, a lot of people who are familiar with MindZ will often remember the wave rooms are like a big recurring thing that a lot of dungeons have, and wave rooms are like okay for content. You know, it's like, not to say it's inherently bad, but it just feels sometimes like it's a little bit lazy in the gameplay, and also just the game development department, because it's like, oh yeah, okay, spawn zombies in, kill them, cool, do more. And it just feels a little bland. And so I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Jack, that was kind of what we were trying to remedy with that sort of tree wave room in the challenge room, right?
Yeah, 100%. Chris really wanted to make sure that room wasn't just like you described, sit around and kill a bunch of zombies, and that's all there is to it. It took a long time to settle on another mechanic to go along with the waves themselves. There's a lot of iterating on that and conversation back and forth. We knew that there was going to be a wave room there for a long time, and and Chris worked really, really hard to come up with various ideas until one actually stuck. And when it did, it was nice, like you described it.
A banger.
It very much, yeah, it very much provided more than just a sit there and kill zombies. Like, to have an extra task tacked onto that was, I think, really critical to making it feel a bit more modernized and well refined.
And to our viewers who might not be familiar with this dungeon because perhaps you haven't done it or you just haven't seen it yet, we will eventually hopefully show that off in a stream, and you'll be able to understand what we're referring to. But this was a monster of a dungeon, and it really, really is impressive. And I hope it kind of sets the standard for some of the stuff to come, perhaps. Maybe.
Yeah, we're gonna rework every other elite in the next month. It'll be awesome.
No. Nice try. I wish.
It took so long and so many hours of work to get DCS out. So another elite would be far off. Much too difficult. But Chris is the GOAT, so he made it happen.
Chris is the Redstone Wizard.
Puddles, did you have a favorite room?
You know, it might be a little basic, but I'm a big fan of the Spire room.
Yeah.
It's pretty classic. Yeah, it's a good one.
What about it do you
The
like?
addition of the moving blocks personally.
I mean, I like the moving blocks. I just like, I don't know. I just like the whole concept of the room. Very nice. Of course, the maze is epic.
Yeah.
That's got to be my favorite challenge room.
Yeah, the Spire room in DCS was kind of handed to me, and I was like told, okay, here are some mechanics that we can use and go for it, And the first iteration that I made was horrendous. It was so bad. I'm so glad we did not go with that. I mean, it was like basically kind of like what we originally did here in the supply drop, where it was like a lot of wool blocks and sort of like concepts and all of that. I initially was like, oh, we can have these moving blocks, and yes, those platforms were part of it that move, but also we would have like parts of the wall if players are trying to like climb or like move by it, it would like move outwards and like push them off. And so if you've ever watched Wipeout, there's like those obstacles that'll like come out and kind of push you off. And I mean, you can kind of do it with like a piston, but like we were gonna have it be more organic looking. And I had all this crazy elaborate stuff set up. I mean, it looked like it just looked like too unintuitive and just not fun. And so then we were like, let's just go simple. Simple is better. And I think that really did work out for the best.
Yeah, I think it came together nicely, like a good homage to the previous room as well, like maintaining the same identity.
Yeah, which is exactly what I was trying to go for.
Yeah.
And some folks might say, yeah, the new room is a little more difficult than the old DCS Spire room. And to that I say, yeah, it is a little more difficult, but the dungeon itself is more forgiving, like just as a whole. And for being, an elite dungeon, I feel like it should be something that is more difficult. And I think the jumps can all be learned. And, we've been watching players do the dungeon, and people learn it for sure. In fact, a lot of people are running it like it's the back of their hand, like they just know it in and out. So definitely very learnable, and I think it's fair as well. That's the big thing.
Yeah, we were able to put in a lot more challenge because some parts of it were more forgiving. Again, Chris really threaded the needle on that nicely in boss room. Because I think the boss platform has a lot going on. It can be pretty difficult, and so is the parkour there. But the jail mechanic, I think, helps balance that out nicely.
Yep.
I'd like to pursue more things in that line of thinking for other pieces of content too.
Yeah, I do think MineZ should still be, like this sort of unforgiving survival game, but I don't think it should be unforgiving in an unfair or just like not fun way. And that's my own personal philosophy on that. And I'm sure everyone has their own idea of that. But I don't know.
Alright, I think I have the top of the tower done.
Whoa, dude, it looks like a wizard hat. That is so cool.
That is cool. Whoa. Wow, you put that out so fast.
This is really impressive, Puddles. That's sick.
Thank you.
And then, yeah, like, I guess the idea for in this area is, it's just like more or less semi-flat-ish flooring. Maybe you can actually have it like be slabs and then like kind of descending down a bit. But
I think that's the
and then you just have like maybe some walls that are like maybe here and then like on the other side. So basically like a glorified larger Hassa pot tower kind of look to it.
okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because we do want people to like still feel on their toes about like, oh, like I might get hit off by an enemy player if they come up here.
True. Very true.
Jack, was this you that kind of made it a little nicer, blending into the environment?
I just did a real quick pass with a blend ball.
Sick.
Just to kind of reduce the number of rogue holes, so it was a little more even. But
No,
I'm
thank you.
able to give it another pass
How
sometime
dare
soon.
you?
I'm so sorry.
Please
Perfect
continue
form.
if you feel so inclined to.
Well, I'm actually probably gonna head out and get some stuff together for SS in just a minute or two.
Okay.
Since that starts in a half hour. But I appreciate you guys letting me join you for a few minutes, and also appreciate you for doing the stream to begin with. And I'm excited to see how the rest of the build finishes up.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Jack. We'll see you around later.
Yeah, enjoy the rest of the stream. Bye bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Speaking of,
Hmm.
it has been about, what is this, 2.5 hours almost?
No, what? Have we really been doing this? Oh my gosh, seriously?
I believe so.
Dude, that is wild. I did not think we were streaming for that long. We can end off in a little bit here if you want.
I think that would be good.
I
now
agree.
the question is, do we hold this build and continue it next time we're streaming? Or do we
Do a little
continue it-
off-camera.
Yeah. Be like, oh, we did some off-camera mining, and that's like completely different.
We could ask people what they would prefer, because we could continue working this on stream. We can start a new one, or we can just position or pivot the stream to doing something different. I'd say it's up to people and also kind of what we prefer, but I am not opposed to listening to some ideas.
Any initial thoughts in the chat? Whether you guys just want us to only build this supply drop on stream so we can get suggestions or comments?
And
if
I
should
think we
just
would-
finish it off stream.
I think we would still show the finished product on the next time that we are doing supply drops, if you think that's what we'd want to do, Puddles.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And I think we can also just listen to what the community thinks as well, and some of the different discords for MindZ. There's a community board as well as the Shotbow official discord. So there's a MindZ channel in there, and so if you have some suggestions, you can feel free to leave them there, or even just in the chat of, I believe, this recording. It should record itself. If it doesn't, ruh-roh. So if you're watching this later, you can feel free to leave a comment, although if enough time has passed, it'll probably be too late, but you can still leave a comment, I guess. Do you want to end now, or just take another like 5 minutes to wrap up?
Yeah, we could take another few minutes here.
Okay, totally up to you. No pressure.
3 minutes from now will be 2.5 hours. I think that'll be a good place to stop.
Yeah, it's a long time. I'm glad you mentioned something, because I was going to keep going, man. I'm like, I love MindZ.
In the zone right now.
In the zone, yeah.
We'll be like 6 hours in. Oh, how long has it been?
Just starving ourselves trying to make MindZ content. No food, no breaks. Sweatshop labor.
For real. Maybe we should talk about like what your vision is here for exactly what you think we should do for the rest of this area here.
Like, you're talking about
for,
like,
let's say for instance the rocks. I think you said you wanted to kind of go with this palette right here for like, were you thinking like all the rocks?
Potentially. Not attached to
Okay.
it. I don't know if it'll look any good though, if this is scaled up, but... And if we do it, we'll have to keep all of like the green moss being, you know, facing in this direction, because like I think that's kind of the point of how the moss works in real life.
Nah. Moss just grows wherever it wants to.
Yeah, I mean it kind of does. Yeah, we could do that, or we can just do like, you know, your standard boulder, or we just make it like kind of coated in moss, where it's like, it's just kind of like over the top and over like one of the sides, you know. A bunch of mossy.
Yeah, that could be cool. Either way, I think this is looking pretty snazzy here.
Yeah, this is sick. And then I still like how we'll have enough room inside to add like a proper staircase as well as some pistons, so that'll be good. And I guess we should probably elongate it, right, to be a decent bit longer, like basically to here, right?
Like taller?
Like, you know, there's going to be like a base to it, right? That'll extend.
Yeah.
Otherwise it looks a little too chubby.
It'll definitely be longer there, which is
sick.
What I was kind of talking about with the, like, we don't want to hit the world height, you know?
Yeah, and we can check after the stream to ensure. I don't think it should be an issue. I'm sure there are taller builds in MindZ, although maybe they're a little lower down.
Yeah. Not sure what level the water is at. We'd have to see. But with that being said, I think that's where I'm gonna call it for me.
Cool. Well, I will also call it there. To those of you live watching it, thank you. I appreciate you tuning in, even if you just stopped in periodically. That's pretty great. And to those of you who are watching this recording, if it properly records, awesome. Thank you. All right, I am going to end stream here. Any last words, Puddles?
can't think of anything. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. If you want to see more stuff like this, just let us know, and we can keep streaming and working on stuff or playing. Yeah, just let us know.
We love MindZ. Or something. All right. How do I stop this? Stop streaming. Goodbye.